Imagine yourself a year from now and you've had the best year ever. You look at your bank account, you look at your savings, they're nice and healthy. You've spent the time and energy to maintain and nurture your closest relationships. You are crushing it at work and you've been working on yourself. You've been doing your self-care. You've been doing your self-development, reading those books. Perhaps you've had therapy or one-to-one coaching. And you've made sure that you have time to do the hobbies that you want to do, to go on the travels and adventures and holidays that you want to. This is the life you deserve. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my goal setting framework so that you can have this life. And this is not just another goal setting video. This is not just about how to pick off things from your bucket list. This is about finding things that are really important to you as a person and building the habits, routines, and systems to achieve those, working towards them every day. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 4-step framework to achieving your goals in 2024. This is exactly what I teach my coaching clients. So you're getting this for absolutely free in this video. And if you want to work with me one-to-one and go through this together as a team, we can do that. You can click on the link down in the description box below to learn how to work with me. If we haven't met before, I'm Dr. Sarah. I'm a medical doctor and an online coach. So what I used to do when I set my goals was literally just pick some random New Year's resolutions and try and work towards them, and inevitably a month or two into it fall off the bandwagon, give up and think that was a stupid idea, or just forget about it because real life got in the way. That is not the way to do goals. The proper way to set goals is to think about your life from a bird's eye view. Think about the big picture, the long-term strategy in your life, the long-term goals, and then work backwards from there. Most of us are living this life of quite a lot of stress. So many people that I speak to in my coaching practice are burnt out, exhausted, and they are on a stress hamster wheel, just going about their daily lives in survival mode, never really getting the chance to stop and think about the big goals and the big picture, because the weeks are just blurring into each other. You know, you're rushing through the week, just dreaming about the weekend, and then the weekend comes and goes in the blink of an eye. So many of us don't have the opportunity to step back and think about our lives from a bigger perspective. So grab yourself a drink, got my nice green smoothie here with me, grab yourself your pen and paper and let's get into it. So the first part of this is ideas and inspiration. This is where we're trying to get ourselves out of that stress mindset, off the stress hamster wheel. We're trying to think about our lives from a bigger perspective. And the first exercise to do here is one that I have stolen from Jim Rohn. And if you haven't listened to his audiobook collection, I would highly encourage you to do so. I'll leave it in the description box below. This exercise is called 50 Life Goals, and you are going to write down 50 things that you want to be, do, achieve, or have, and there are no limits here. Think big. Don't allow yourself to think, oh, I couldn't do that because of X, Y, or Z, or oh, that's not really achievable. This isn't a bucket list. This isn't a list of things that you necessarily have to achieve. The idea of this exercise is to just allow your brain to get into the mindset of thinking about possibilities and big dreams and big goals. This isn't about having to actually achieve these goals. So pause the video whenever you're ready and do not stop until you get to 50. Some examples from my own list are meet Beyonce. Probably never going to happen, but that's a dream of mine. Meet Oprah Winfrey, fly first class, grow all my own fruit and veg, run a half marathon in less than 1 hour 30, do a road trip in America. So I'm going to let you pause the video now and get writing. Keep going until you get to 50. Okay, so hopefully you've paused it and written down your 50 ideas. And how do you feel after that? Because whenever I do this exercise, and yes, I do this exercise, I do it at least twice a year. Every time I do this, I just feel inspired and excited. And so the next part of this is a brain dump. So you're going to write down everything in your head that is incomplete. Any unfinished projects that you have, DIY things around the house, paperwork piles, things that need fixing, incompletes, anything that is unfinished in your life, conversations you've been meaning to have. Part of the reason why so many of us are stressed is because we're carrying around this incompletes list in our brain. Getting it out onto paper makes us feel so much better. Your brain will just feel lighter. Pause the video now, write down everything you can think of that is incomplete in your life. Next step, prioritization. This is where we are picking some goals to work on for the next year. So I like to think big here. I like to think about what I want to achieve in the next 5 years and then work backwards from there to pick my 1 year goals. So I tend to pick 3 to 5 goals, and if you're struggling to think about the goals you want to pick, you can use the fresh mnemonic here. F is for financial goals, R is for relationship goals, E is for education, employment, entrepreneurship, S is for self-development, spirituality and self-care, and H is for hobbies and home. So you can go ahead and pick something from each of those categories so that you've got your 5 goals. I like to do it that way. So pause the video now and write down 3 to 5 goals that you want to achieve in the next year, maybe from each of those categories. And then you're going to ask yourself the question, who do I have to become to achieve those goals? And you can write this answer down for each goal and get really specific here. What identity do you have to embody to make those goals a reality? What values does that kind of person have that's achieved that goal? What habits does that kind of person have that's achieved that goal? So I'm going to use the example from F for financial goals. Say, for example, your 5-year goal is to have £100,000 in an investment account. Break that down into 1-year goals. Each year that would be £20,000 to be saved in an investment account. So what kind of values does the person have who is saving £20,000 a year? Well, they're probably valuing their future self. They're thinking about their future, what they want to save for to give themselves stability, security. Probably the kind of person who isn't going to be getting themselves into debt. They're not going to go on massive gambling or spending sprees. They're going to be careful with their money, and they're being mindful. Habits that person might have. They might be the kind of person who picks up overtime shifts so that they can fully stock out that savings and investments account. They might be the kind of person who works hard to get points on credit card and be sensible about how they spend on their holidays so that they can put more money in their investments. So that's just an example, but have a think for you personally about each of those goals that you've chosen, what kind of person you'd have to become to achieve those goals. Next part of this is reviewing the habits and routines that you've currently got in your life. It may be that the habits and routines that you've already got are supporting you in getting towards those goals. So for example, my goal of running a half marathon in less than an hour and 30 minutes, if I was already doing lots of running training, me going to a running club, working on interval training, doing my long run once a week, all of those kinds of things, it may be that the habits and routines and systems I've got support my goal already, and I decide to just keep doing what I'm doing and working a little bit harder. But otherwise, it could be that you're not doing anything towards that goal at the moment. If you've got a goal to go traveling around Thailand, but you're not currently saving any money to do that, you haven't planned how you're going to get the time off work, you haven't thought about who you might go with or what you'd actually need to do to make it a reality, chances are it's probably just going to stay as a pipe dream if you're not doing the things you need to do to make it a reality. So something you can do here that's really powerful is a start, stop, more, less matrix. And this is something that I learned from a friend, Jodie Cook. Draw a quadrant grid, and in each of the 4 sections, you write start, stop, more or less. Go through that, think about the habits and routines and systems that you would need to continue doing more of, or actually starting, and the things that you might need to stop doing or do less of to support your goals. It's a really nice and simple way of thinking about the things that you're currently doing or not doing. And the final part of this prioritization stage is probably the most fun. This is the vision board section. Now, before you roll your eyes or turn off the video once I've mentioned vision board, stick with me, because I used to be the kind of person that didn't see the point in a vision board. I thought this was just kind of like a teenage scrapbooking idea of I'll cut some nice pictures out of a magazine and stick them on my pinboard. I have started doing vision boards for my goals, and let me tell you, it has been so powerful. Having a visual reminder of the things that you want to achieve, quotes that inspire you, images of your ideal life, images of the habits and routines that you would be doing in that ideal life is so powerful in helping you achieve your goals. So please don't skip this step. This is really important. The way that I make my vision boards is on Canva. I like to do it in an A3 document, get images from Pinterest or the internet or my own images, cut and paste them onto this vision board, sprinkle around it some quotes and some positive affirmations. And then, this is the key part, make it so that it's visible to you every single day. I get physical copies printed out in A3. I just order them online, stick them on a pinboard that I look at every single day. You don't want to have it up on a pinboard, or you don't want other people in your household to be looking at it, then think about other ways that you can make it so that you're looking at it on a regular basis. One of my friends made hers into a bookmark, and every time she opens her book, she's got it there visible. You could print it out small and have it in the front of your diary or your journal. Make it your phone background screensaver, however you want to do it. Doesn't matter. The point is that you do it and that you look at it regularly. Step 3 is planning. So some more questions to ask yourself here. So get that pen and paper ready and get ready to pause the video and ask yourself these questions. What does success look like for each goal? So go back through those goals. If you pick those 5 goals, the fresh goals, ask yourself for each of those goals, what does success look like? How will I know when I've achieved the goal? This is important because if you haven't got a clear marker for success, then how are you going to know if you've achieved the thing or not? Then ask yourself the question, what do I have to do in the next year to achieve that goal? What do I have to do in the next 6 months to achieve that goal? What do I have to do monthly, weekly, daily to achieve the goal? And this will start to highlight some of the habits and routines that you need to get into to bring yourself closer to those goals. Next question, and this is something that I've been working hard on in the last year, is how will I know I'm on the right track? What are my KPIs, my key performance indicators? What are the mile markers that I'm going to use to determine whether or not I'm on the right track? Because here's where I used to go wrong. I would pick my goals and I would break them down, but I would forget to work out what the key performance indicators were, i.e. markers of whether or not I'm on the right track. It's hard to know if you are making the right amount of progress if you don't clearly define these in advance. Keep pausing the video as I'm asking these questions and answer them. Next question to ask yourself, what will happen if I don't make this a reality? Now, this is a really good question to ask yourself because chances are your life will stay the same. Is that okay? Maybe. But you're probably watching this video because you're the kind of person who is driven, you are ambitious, you want bigger things for your life, you want to succeed, you want to reach your potential. So ask yourself honestly, what will happen if I don't make this a reality? Quite a hard question to answer. Next question, what challenges do I need to face to get there? What obstacles will I face on the path to my goal? And finally, this one is really key. How can I make success as easy as possible? This has been another thing that I have been thinking about a lot in the last year because, as you know, I am overcoming perfectionism and I help other people do that in my coaching. And us perfectionists, we have a tendency to make things harder for ourselves. We have a tendency to say that everything has to be done this particular way. We tend to take the long route to doing things. We focus in on tiny details rather than thinking about the bigger picture. And sometimes that means that we make life harder for ourselves. So ask yourself this question, how can I make success as easy as possible? The final part of this is execution, actually doing the things. Execution, this is about moving forward, moving towards your goals, actually doing the things to get you there. Define what the needle movers are for your goals and get rid of everything else. Get rid of the busy work, get rid of distractions, just focus on the things that you want to achieve and that you have determined are a priority. Other things that are really helpful in this execution part are habit tracking. Now I can link my habit tracker down below in the description box if you want to download that for free. It's very basic, but it works. So the way that I use my habit tracker is I write down my goals just to remind myself of the bigger picture. And then I write down the habits that will help me succeed in those goals. So for example, you might write down on your habit tracker, save a certain amount each day, or it might be walk 10,000 steps, or drink some green tea, or drink a smoothie, or meditate. Write down those habits. And the idea of habit tracking isn't to judge yourself or to make yourself feel bad. The idea is that you're using this as data and you can just view it in a neutral way. Write down your habits, fill them in, see how many dots you've got by the end of the month. And if you look at those dots and they're all filled in, great. Ask yourself at the end of that month, how did I achieve this? What facilitated it, me actually getting to those 30 or 31 dots at the end of the month? Or if you look at your habit tracker at the end of the month and you're like, hey, I haven't really stuck to any of these, you need to go back and ask yourself why. Not in a judgmental way, but just being curious, being interested. Why did I not manage to eat 5 portions of fruit and veg a day? Why did I not manage to go for my 5K run 3 times a week? What happened? Let's get curious, let's get interested, let's figure out how we can make this easier for ourselves. Other things that are helpful in this execution part are checking your progress, having accountability. So one of the things that I've done in the last year is setting up an accountability group with some other business friends and checking in with our goals with each other, having a weekly meeting where we talk about what we've achieved, what we haven't achieved. Reviewing your goals regularly, giving yourself a monthly review. I like to do this on the first of every month, where I look back at the previous month, see what I've achieved, what I haven't achieved, and then plan ahead for the month. So that is it. I hope you found this a really interesting exercise and it's been helpful for you. If you didn't actually go through and do these things as the video went on, then make sure you save this video and watch it again and actually work through these things with a pen and paper, writing down your answers, because just watching this might be valuable. Real value here is in doing this and making your goals a reality, so that next year you can look back at this year and be like, boom, I've absolutely smashed this year. It's been amazing and I am living my dream life. If you are a medical professional and you are absolutely stressed out, exhausted, and not living your dream life, then I have something that is going to be absolutely transformative for you. I am starting a group coaching program called the Thriving Medics Club. This is brand new and starting this year. So I will leave all the details down in the description box below about how you can join that. Go from being absolutely stressed out and burnt out like I was to living a full, happy life, making time for yourself, not feeling overwhelmed, and feeling like you are in control of your life. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.